And here we all are. Shall we step inside? We're particularly interested in the prevalence of magical seals placed on the tombs here. It's rather unlike anything we've encountered. Anything. Anything at all that might be of interest. That's why I adore this location. We have no idea what we're going to find. And if along the way my message about the dangers of magic should happen to sink in for a few students, that would be a happy coincidence. All right. Please stay close to me while we're inside. It should be safe, but it's always better to be cautious.
I find it hard to believe this excavation was approved.
Sarthaal,
You know, there might be gold
north
somewhere
south
in
of
here.
Skyrim. It was also the largest. Sacked by the elves in the infamous Night of Tears, not much is known about what happened to Sarthaal. This is an exciting opportunity for us to be able to study such an early civilization. Well, are there any questions before we begin? Ah, yes. Well, why don't you see if you can assist Arniel Gain? He's one of our scholars, here working on cataloging our finds. I expect he'd appreciate some help in locating any additional magical artifacts here in the ruins. Any enchanted items will do. The usefulness of the enchantment is irrelevant. If you find anything, the class can look it over. Now let's see. What shall we have? Brelina, my dear, why don't you search for warding magics? Anything designed to keep people out. Don't interact with them. Just identify them. Please search that area over there.
Don't touch anything! He what? You must be one of the new apprentices then. Fine, fine. Just don't make a mess of my work, all right? I've only looked through a portion of this section. You can look around in the chambers just north of here. Try and be careful, all right? We don't want to damage anything. Just round up the rest of the magical artifacts so that I can catalog them. Uh-huh.
What in the world was that racket? Is everything all right? How in the world did that happen? Really? Perhaps the amulet is important somehow. Is there some way you can use it? Some kind of resonance. You and the wall. to the amulet. I wonder, what effect might your spells have? Please be careful here. The site isn't entirely secured. Well, would you look at that? This appears to lead somewhere. Let's see where it goes. Well, this is highly unusual and very interesting. Why in the world would this be sealed off? What is this place?
Hold, mage, and listen well. Know that you have set in motion a chain of events that cannot be stopped. Judgment has not been passed, as you had no way of knowing. Judgment will be passed on your actions to come, and how you deal with the dangers ahead of you. This warning is passed to you because the Psijic Order believes in you. You, mage, and you alone, have the potential to prevent disaster. Take great care, and know that the Order is watching.
I swear I felt something rather strange just then. What just happened? I'm afraid I didn't see anything. Can you tell me more about what you saw? The Psijic Order? Are you quite sure about that? That's very odd. And danger ahead? Why, that doesn't make any sense at all. The Psijics have no connection to these ruins, and no one's seen any of their order in a long time. Perhaps we should take a look inside these coffins. Now, please do be careful. Who knows what we're going to find? They were a group of mages with a history that predates the Empire. Very powerful, very secretive. No one's seen them in well over 100 years. They vanished, along with their sanctuary on the Isle of Artaeum. I have no idea what connection they'd have to this place. I have no idea, but it's fascinating. Assuming it's true, of course. The Isle of Artaeum disappeared over 100 years ago, and no one has seen them since. And yet now, suddenly, they've chosen to contact you. Why, it's intriguing. If nothing else, I'd take it as a compliment. The Psijics have only ever dealt with those they feel worthy. Take care now. Come on! This is simply fascinating. This is simply fascinating. All right, then. What was that? I won't go down so easily. Simply fascinating. I've never seen anything like this in Nordic ruins before. Why, just look at all these coffins. This bears closer inspection. I'd like to stay a while and examine. I've never seen anything like this. This is simply fascinating.
Some people might find this questline a bit easier to do if they've done bounties or a few side quests beforehand. I recommend the Golden Claw, based in Riverwood, because some opponents like these can be a bit difficult to tackle with just the basics, and seeing as they can kill you in 4 or 5 hits, it might be worth getting some extra experience and spells and stuff under your belt first. Two-handed sword is purely until I get some conjuration spells for conjured weapons, although the idea of a mage in robes with a big hefty two-handed sword is entertaining if nothing else. Yes, that's a lightning rune. Runes can be taken out by using a spell of the same element. If you step over them, they do quite a lot of damage because they're the upper level of the destruction spells. Now, I haven't spoken much this recording, but this puzzle bit needs some explanation. The faces of the pillars are shown what they need to be behind them, but this pillar moves the pillar next to it, which moves the pillar diagonally across from it, which in turn moves the pillar next to that one. It's hard to explain, but you should be able to see from the video which things to put them on.
My boy, hold on. I thought it high time I caught up with you. Well now, would you look at that? I never imagined we'd find something like this. Why is this buried so far within Sarthaal? This is simply fascinating.
Now, with this coming boss fight, there's no point attacking him until you see Tolfdir go and fiddle around with the orb and lightning, because he's invulnerable to all attacks. So, as you can see here, I just use magical armor and wait, run around so he can't hit me. So once Tolfdir's given you the now attack him, and he should go down relatively easily. He's scaled to your level, so you shouldn't struggle too much. The Writ of Sealing starts a side quest, which I should be able to cover through the course of the guide. Always keep an eye out for gold, because spells get very expensive.
I have no idea. This is amazing. Absolutely amazing. The Archmage needs to be informed immediately. He needs to see this for himself. I don't dare leave this unattended. Can you return to the college and inform Savos Aran of this discovery? Please, hurry.
Here's why it's better to have done some of the main story before you go into any of the sides. This is a word wall, for those of you who don't know. Gives you a shout, but to learn a shout you need to spend a dragon soul, and you can't get dragon souls until you fought the first dragon, and then dragons start appearing, and then you kill them, get their souls and spend them on shouts. Now it's simply a matter of returning to the Archmage and getting the next quest.
You are relatively new here, are you not? I have noticed you, but we have not spoken. Then allow me to introduce myself. I am Savos Aran, Archmage of the College of Winterhold. I am quite content to see nearly any aspect of magic explored and investigated here. But I do not and will not approve of any research or experiments that cause purposeful harm to your fellow members of the college. Are we clear? Not often, no. Some risks must be taken, to be sure. I am simply trying to avoid untimely deaths. we also must make an effort to avoid worsening what Skyrim thinks of us. Please don't tell me that another one of the apprentices has been incinerated. I have enough to deal with right now. I see. I trust that Tolfdir will provide a more specific explanation. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. Tolfdir normally looks after your little group, yes? Since he's apparently occupied, and I will need to see this discovery for myself, I think perhaps you should begin researching the subject. Speak with Urag in the Arcanium. See if he's aware of anything that matches your discovery. And good work. The next time you find yourself exploring Nordic ruins, perhaps this will be helpful.
That does it for the first quest in the College of Winterhold. I'll see you next time.